This conference will now be recorded.
Chart of account. Chart of account is also a ledger requirement, but I'll discuss in detail in Excel first what chart of account is and how it need to be configured and what all requirements we need to get it from the client. If you understand that, then setting up chart of account is very easy. Okay, so that I'll explain in Excel first so that it will be easy when we start doing setup in the system. And then post that I'll discuss on Fusion application UI. I'll show you and I'll explain you the UI of Fusion application, and post that practical classes starts. Okay, practical topics. We're going to enter into the practical topics. So this is what, I mean, these are the topics we are going to cover in next 2 or 3 days, I mean 3 or 4 days, and then we are going to move to the practical classes. Yeah. So today our target is to finish P2P and O2C cycle. Before I move on, I hope you all from accounts background. Anybody is non-accounting background, from non-accounting background? Hi Nandesh, you have just joined. Good evening. Can I hear you?
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, Nandesh. So Nandesh, you have joined this session today. Demo has been done last week. Today's the first session. You can be on the call and we'll have a quick discussion at the end of the session today. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
On your questions. Yeah, just attend the session. Before I move on to these two topics, you all from the accounting background, right? I mean, I know Narendra and Ranjit. I think probably Shiva is also from account background. Yeah. Garima, you and Nandesh, you.
Sir, hi, I'm Garima. I have an accounting background till my 12th class because I'm a commerce student. Then I pursue with my BA and then MBA. So I'm an MBA in HR only, actually, human resource.
Okay. Okay.
So I had a previous experience with the GE. You must heard about the company GE, General Electric. It's in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
So so I have a little knowledge about the IT, but not the like I know about the SQL and testing, something like that. Okay, but after marriage I took a break with my career, so now I want to restart my career. So that's why I joined this course, Oracle Fusion Finance, because my husband is also in IT, and he suggests me to move in this line, and it will help you a lot.
Yeah.
So
See,
that's why.
to learn this functional subject, you do not require any SQL or programming language,
That's
because
why,
this is purely
because I
application.
understand the accounting terms. That's ledger, receivables, payables. I understand all this because my father, my brother, all background is like this only. So I understand all this concept. So
Okay. Okay, Garima.
that's why I'm quite interested in doing this.
Okay.
This is my reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nandesh, you are from the commerce background?
Yeah, I've actually completed MBA Finance. So I have a kind of
Currently, you're working in finance?
no, I'm not. I'm working in a insurance background, so I want to switch my career.
Okay.
So
Okay, sure. We will discuss remaining things at the end of the session, Garima and Nandesh. I'll start this P2P and O2C discussion now. See, to become, okay, let me tell you, to become a functional, I mean, to get a functional job, you need more business knowledge than accounting knowledge. Yeah, accounting knowledge is required, but if you understand the basics, that is enough. Like debit, credit, debit accounts and credit accounts, why when transaction happens, why do we account it, okay, and what is the output of accounts data. So if you know this basics, that is enough. You don't require to know like how accountant need to know. because accountant works for a business, financial activities, or financial activities. That is why accountants need to know the core accounts knowledge. But to become a functional, you don't require, to get a functional job, you don't require core accounting knowledge. Yes, you require some basic accounting knowledge as well as business knowledge. You need more business knowledge, because when you go to the client, or when you discuss with client, they will make you understand their business process, right? With some accounting knowledge, with some accounting terminologies also. That's why I said you need some basic accounting knowledge. But they will discuss with you their business process, right? And if you are not able to understand the business process, or if you don't know business process, how it works, let's say you're working on P2P and you don't know the business process of P2P, a basic knowledge of, or you don't know the basics of P2P also, not according to this Oracle software, but a common knowledge or basic knowledge of P2P, then you will not be able to understand the requirements from the client. So that is the reason I am going to discuss two business process cycle, O2C and P2P. The reason, because this P2P and O2C, both these cycles are involved in financial modules, or financial modules are involved in these two cycles. Okay, so that is the reason in theory I'm going to discuss this, so that you get some understanding on P2P and O2C business process cycle. So P2P is procure to pay. We call this as P2P, but it is procure to pay. I'm writing it as this. And procurement comes under supply chain management. Okay, pay comes under finance. So being a finance consultant or being a financial functional, you need to have a core knowledge of this pay side in P2P. Yeah, you need to have basic knowledge of procurement also, but not detailed knowledge. Yes, but you need to have a detailed knowledge of pay. Okay, pay process or finance process. In procurement, how it works? First, a requisition need to be created. A requisition is nothing but it's a business requirement document. See, business will not work in this way. Like, for example, there are 5 different departments in business, and any person wants something, they want something, any person wants something for the business use, they just go to the market or they just order it and they get it. No, it will not work, right? In business, every department have their own employees who is taking care of that particular department. Let's say company have to pay some vendor. It's not like anybody who want they can pay to vendor. It has to go to the finance department, and finance department also have payables team. Payables team need to get that information that 10,000 rupees or dollars need to pay to so and so vendor, and then they are going to decide whether to pay this vendor or not based on some decisions, right? They will take the decision based on some reference data, right? So every department has their own work. Now, same way, if any department required, like department or branch or you can say warehouse, whatever. So any department required any item, they have to send requisition to the procurement team. Requisition is nothing but it's a document which that says business is required this item, right? So once requisition is created, then that requisition, with that requisition directly purchase order can be processed if we know the vendor. If business knows the vendor, okay, we are buying every time from this vendor, we know what terms and conditions and what price they provide, then directly order can be generated or order can be created or can be processed, and order can send to the vendor, so that vendor delivers the goods and services. If we are not buying and we need a quotation, then the process turns into request for quotation, not PO directly. So quotation need to be request from different vendors, 2 or 3 vendors. And once quotations are received, we create those quotations in the system. User level, they create quotations in the system, Let's say 3 quotations you have created in the system with all provided details from the vendor. System does analysis itself, and system gives arrange the sequence 1, 2, 3, and you can pick the best quotation, and with that best quotation, purchase order can be processed. Once purchase order is created, that purchase order information goes to the vendor, and then GRN need to be created. Vendor delivers goods, and once company receives the goods, GRN need to be created. Goods receipt note we call it as. And once the GRN is created, next what? Transfer to organization. So wherever the items are required, company need to transfer to that organization. Right? Yeah. So this is part of supply chain management, or it's a procurement process. So what procurement team do, starting from requesting from quotation till items are received and transferred to the organization, procurement team need to work on it. Okay, and this all comes under supply chain management. And what modules procurement team use in this all process? They use 2 modules mainly, that is purchasing module and inventory module. Purchasing and inventory. And pay process starts, invoice receives in the pay finance team. That invoice need to be created. You can call it as PO invoice. So once the invoice is created, we can't pay directly, because that invoice information need to validate with the previous process. If you are not validating invoice information with the previous process, whatever is done, then company is blindly paying whatever is billed by vendor, right? So if vendor is billing some amount, we need to have some control to pay. We need to take a decision whether this invoice to be paid or not. So how do you decide? Based on the previous process. And how do we do that process? We have matching. We have 3 different matchings provided by Oracle. We have 3 matchings: 2-way match, 3-way match, 4-way match. Okay. In 2-way match, invoice to PO. Invoice matches with purchase order. In 3-way match, invoice to PO and GRN. See, let me write all 3 and then I'll explain you in 4-way match in detail. I'll explain you in detail. Invoice to PO, GRN and inspection. Okay, how 2-way match works? See, whatever is built on the invoice, that need to be as same as PO is created. Let's say you have created PO for 10 units. Each unit cost is 1,000, and the build amount, the PO total amount is 10,000 rupees or dollars, whatever you say. Your invoice need to bill with same amount, same quantity, same price per unit, and same amount. If it is different, then you have to forcefully validate and process, and whatever the difference amount, it will go to some account. Okay, or else you will reject it and you will say vendor that the invoice is billed is wrong. You have to bill a right invoice, right? But in 2-way match, invoice just check with purchase order details. In 3-way match, invoice check with purchase order as well as GRN, because sometimes we receive 8 units, then why do we pay for 10 units, right? If vendor is billing for 10 units, it's wrong. So we have to receive for 8 units and the 8,000 total amount, then I'll pay. If it is less than, more than 8 units, then I'll not pay the invoice. I'll just hold it in my system and reject my vendor invoice, I'll inform my vendor that the invoice is billed for 10 units, but actually we have received only 8 units, right? And then vendor will send the right invoice, and then process can be continued. In four-way match, invoice matches with purchase order, GRN, and it will have inspection also. Sometimes companies may say, or vendors, client may say, we want to do inspection before we process payment, and the inspection need to be happen in the organization where goods are transferred. Or sometime for assets, you can take example of assets. So asset required some time to install or set up, right? So after we complete the asset configuration or implementation or whatever, we need to do one inspection, then we will pay the final amount. For that, this four-way match is useful. There will be inspection included in this four-way match. Okay, so invoice match with PO as well as the quantity received in GRN. In PO, it checks mainly how much is ordered and what is price per unit. And here, how much is received. So how much is received, multiply with price per unit. Okay, and inspection also will be involved if company want to follow that. But you will see three-way match is more famous and more using in the business, and two-way also for especially service. I mean, goods can be received, but services even we receive, we don't generate any GRN for most of the services, right? And directly you can match with PO in that case. Two-way match. Okay, anyway, we have these three different matching concepts provided by Oracle. So any matching you follow, so for each vendor matching can be different. Okay, so if matching is successfully done and validated, and then payment can be processed, and after payment is processed, what next? Reconciliation. So whatever payment is processed, that will go from the bank, right? So your bank need to be reconciled with the payments that are processed in system. Your system and bank need to show the same transaction. If you are not seeing, see whatever is there in your system and you are not seeing that in the bank, then the payment actually not released from the bank. That means you have processed transaction, but actually cash is not gone from your business. It has to go from your business, right? That is the reason we do reconciliation with bank statement to make sure we have paid to the vendor. Clear? So this is what P2P process, and P2P process ends here. Whenever, I mean here, supply chain management consultant work on supply chain requirements, setup and configuration and flow testing. And being a finance, we work on this transactions setup and testing the flow, and we make sure everything process smoothly. Okay, yeah, setup in the sense configuration, you are implementing configuration. Okay, now coming to O2C. O2C won't take much time because it's a quite opposite process of P2P. In O2C,
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
order need to be entered. I mean, we call it as order to cash process. Here again, it comes under supply chain management, and this comes under finance. Okay, order entry. So whatever order is received from the customer, see here in P2P process, we are dealing with, as a business, we are dealing with vendor, because whatever goods and services you want to buy, you can buy from vendor, right? So the agent is vendor here, and here the agent is customer, because we are dealing with customer here. So when customer send order to the company, that order need to be created in the system. And once order is created, that's nothing but order entry. Once order is created in the system, order booking. Once order is booked, then order need to be reserved with the customer name. I mean, whatever with whatever name, with whatever the customer name you have processed and booked the order, with that customer name, order need to be reserved. Order reservation you can say, or order reserve order you can say. Once the order is reserved, what next? Pick and release. The order need to pick from the warehouse, and it has to, I mean, it need to be released from the warehouse to deliver to the customer, right? And then order shipped. Yeah, or you can say, see, once you reserve the order, if it is not goods and goods, let's say you're providing services, after booking, okay, you can do order reservation and then services delivered. Okay. Yeah. In cash process, AR invoice, or you can say sales invoice process. And once the sales invoice is created, what next? You company send that sales invoice to the vendor, sorry, customer, and customer pay whatever is billed, right? If that amount is based on the transaction done by customer, then customer definitely pay on that invoice. So once the amount is received, the receipt need to be processed. After receipt is processed, remittance is nothing but we are depositing into the bank account. See, every receipt created will not remit into the bank account. See, receipts are also two types: auto and manual. Or you can say auto is always electronic, with the help of electronic. When company receives amount, that is called as auto process. I mean, you can set it as auto process, but when check or DDs or cash is received, then you can say that as manual, right? Check, DD or cash. See, when customers are paying directly to the bank, or when customer is giving check, DD or cash, for both receipts need to be created. But when company is directly paying to the bank, why do you deposit that again? For that, remittance is not required. Okay, when amount is coming directly to the bank from the customer, remittance is not required. When checks, DDs and cash coming to the business, for that remittance is required. Once the remittance is processed, what next? Reconciliation again. So whatever received, that need to be reconciled. I mean, whatever we have on the bank statement, that need to be reconciled with the system transactions, whatever we company have received from the customers, right? So here the process ends. Yeah, one more thing to add in this P2P and O2C process. See, in P2P and O2C process, whatever I've discussed, it's a common process. Normally, every business follows, or in most of the system, this process is applied. Okay, and within this process, it has its own controls and securities. Like we have a control to decide the invoice to pay, 2-way match, 3-way match, 4-way match. In other technologies, there may be different logic. Okay, Oracle have this logic, and we have some data securities and all to control that you will see in the system in P2P. And apart from that, there are some more process involved in P2P and O2C that I have not discussed in Excel, but directly you will see that in system, because this is a common process, or this is standard process. Normally you see, it is not as per Oracle, but normally you see this is a common or standard process when company is doing procurement and payment and order and cash process. Okay, and as part of this, I mean, other activities that are involved in P2P, it is like company, we have to pay interest to vendor, or vendor is giving discount to the company. right? Uh, Based on the transaction, whatever. And vendor in interest payment, discounts, and advance is paid. Advance need to be adjusted, then final amount need to be paid. Okay. Same in O2C also. Interest when company is paying. Any amount need to be write off. Any refunds need to be done in P2P or O2C, whatever. Okay. Refunds process also will be there. So definitely when we do some transaction, there will be refunds also sometime, right? So these all other activities will be discussed when we start working on this process, not now. Okay. So as I said, we are not going to focus on supply chain management because supply chain management is not finance. It is a different business process modules, and there will be a different consultant to understand requirement for supply chain and work on the application. Yeah, we need to have a good understanding and good process knowledge of setups and good knowledge on setups or configuration, system configuration, and the process knowledge of financial modules. Clear? So our focus is mainly on this understanding finance process in this training program. So these are the two different business process, P2P and O2C, what I have discussed now. And tomorrow we'll be discussing accounting entries, quick discussion on accounting entries. Guys, now 3 more days you will have till Wednesday. Till Wednesday you will have 45-minute session and log in at 8:30 sharp, guys, because by 9:30 we close the session. So do not make late. For next 3 days we will have till 8, for 45 minutes. And from Thursday onwards, your session will go for 1 hour every day, 8:30 to 9:30. So that is why I'm asking join on time at 8:30. Okay. And yeah, so I'll close session with this because I want to discuss with new joinees today who have joined. And there will not be any demo session from now onwards. It will be classes continuing from now onwards. Any session if you guys have missed, then you can request institute to provide recorded video and you can watch in the recorded video. Okay. In case if you can't join tomorrow or day after and you have missed, then you can get the recorded video for that particular day, whatever is happened in the session. Yeah. But there is no demo session from now onwards. It will be a regular classes. And I'll be taking at the end for the next for the next 3 days, at the end of the session, I'll be taking questions from the new joinees to answer. And after 3 days from Thursday onwards, there will not be any new joinee joining these classes. Even joins, we will discuss after the session time. We will discuss. I'll discuss anything need to be discussed. 1 hour session will be there with, for you guys. Okay. Yeah. So any questions? Garima, Narendra, Ranjit, we are done. If you don't have questions, you can leave. And Garima, Nitya, and Shiva, you can stay so that I can take your questions. Yeah.
So, can you please explain me the reconciliation once again? Reconciliation.
Narendra and Ranjit. Okay, you may leave. Yes. Garima. Narendra, you want to ask something?
Nothing. Okay, I can buy. Say buy one.
I can't hear you, Narendra, if you're speaking. Okay,
Nothing.
Garima, I'll go
Buy.
with you. So you have any questions to ask? Let me check my in case. Okay, my mic went into mute. Sorry, Narendra. Let me. Yes, Narendra, you have any questions now? You can tell me if you have any questions.
First, what we required. Uh, uh, Functional consent. How do we started
Functional
with?
consultant, see. Functional consultant, we will configure the system to follow this process. See, this
Okay.
process is provided by
So,
Oracle, but
yeah.
with the business
So I
data,
have a little knowledge
we will
about the
not.
IT, but not the, like I know about the SQL and testing, something like that. Okay. But after
Who
marriage,
is
I took a
speaking now?
break with my career. So now
See, Narendra, see, as a business, you will
and
have,
he suggests me to go
Narendra,
with
you
this
can go
line,
on mute.
and it will help you a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Narendra, you
proceed.
can go on mute.
So that's why.
To learn Narendra, you can go on mute. I'm getting some noise
required any
from you.
SQL or
Yeah,
programming language
Narendra,
that's why.
specifically.
okay. So, yeah, see, Oracle is provided this business process, but Oracle is not provided business process as per the business requirement, right? They have provided some standard process. So we understand the client business, and we design how they required in the Oracle system, and then we test it and we deliver to the customer, right? So every business required in a different way. The process will be same, but the requirement will change project to project, right? So that we understand and we configure the system according to the business required, because every option provided by Oracle will not be using in business, right? So we do the
Right.
setup, system configuration, and then we provide them, we showcase them how the business process works in the software, and then we deliver the product.
Okay. When we get the project from client, what we consider first to, in functional consultants.
See, normally when project comes to the business, we need to understand the business. That's the first task. Call it as definition
Okay.
phase. After understanding, we need to design. We need to do the detailed designing. Like based on every requirement, we have to detailedly design how it can be rich, how it can be rich in Oracle. I mean, how it can be used in Oracle, and then we need to build that in the Oracle software, whatever design we did. And then once it is built, we have to do some sessions with client to explain them how it works and all. And then finally, you will have uh, production phase. I mean, there will be SIT, SIT, UATs, and then finally it will go to the production environment.
Okay. Uh, First we need to start with enterprise structure, I think. I mean,
See, that is system. You're talking about system. I'm talking about the
okay.
project one. Okay.
Yeah.
System, anyway, you will come to know, you will learn once I start practical. So don't
Okay.
worry. What we do first,
Okay.
what setup we do first, that you will learn step by step in the training program, practical sessions when I start.
Okay. So, okay, fine. Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Nitya, Garima, and Shiva, you guys can ask questions if you have anything. You all can unmute. You have option to unmute in GoToMeeting. You can unmute and ask me if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
Nitya, you said you don't have any questions. Okay. So
Yeah,
Nitya,
for
you
me
are the
also
same
on the
person
side.
who have joined demo session last week.
Yes, yes. I was the same person. The in was in
You
demo
are
session.
you are in banking sector, right? That's what you said.
Yes, yes. I was in an investment banking sector. I need to switch
Yeah.
my industry.
Yes.
So I
Fine.
was trying to consult with the Oracle, the Harsha training. Let me finalize my decision.
Okay. Yeah. And Shiva, you have any questions to ask?
No. For this session, I don't have any question because I've been working for this module since 8 years, so no
Yeah.
question.
Okay. Shiva, I'll talk to you. And Garima, you have any questions to
No.
ask?
Sir, very normal question. Actually, I just want to know, like, I'm a new in this field, so I just want to like, this is the way we have to start with the financial fusion, like SCM order. This is all the first step we have to follow with this.
See, usually being a finance consultant, you will not be working on supply chain side, okay, SCM side.
Okay.
So this just I have explained you because you need to know the complete business process. because
Okay,
P2P
fine.
is one cycle, right? So you need to know the entire cycle. It doesn't mean that you need to work on this, because see, if one person is working in all this cycle, then that person will not get time to sleep also. Okay, because they have to attend meetings with different business users. They need to understand the requirement. So one person will not be involved in all this, right? So even in finance, you will be given with one module, and that one module, see, reconciliation happens in cash management. If you're not part of cash management, you will not work. But you need to know the process, because in interview they will ask, do you know P2P, how it works? So you must be able to answer what is P2P cycle, how it works, and how the data flows from one process to other process. Theoretically you need to know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, but this process you need to know in practical, because you start hunting for a job saying that you have finance experience or you have knowledge on financial modules, right? So they expect that you know how it works in software. I mean, you know practically how it can be set up in software. But supply chain, if you are saying you have knowledge in theory, like you have a subject, that is enough. They don't look for you need to know in system how it need to be configured and how it need to be worked, because you're not applying for supply chain job, you're applying for finance job, right?
Yeah.
Like in HR also, we have payroll and we have other, right? So if somebody worked on payroll and they say they know payroll, so they will see, it doesn't mean that they should not have see, as I'm not working on payroll, I mean, as I'm working on payroll, I don't have knowledge of other department because I'm not working on that. So I need to have knowledge, at least subject knowledge. I'm not working, but I need to have a subject knowledge. But my job is working on payroll, so I need to know the entire payroll, because I'm a payroll consultant, right? Same way.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Garima. So that's it, Garima. If you don't have any questions, then that's it. And you will get a call from Harsha Trainings, and you can take your decision and inform to them to join from tomorrow onwards. Okay.
Okay. Sir, your good name is? I don't know your name even.
Yeah, Sarthak.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And thank you. Bye.
Okay. Have a good night, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Shiva, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Shiva? Yeah. Can I have your number? I'll discuss with you on call, because you have joined
Yes,
with
please.
my reference, not from the institute.
Yes. I will just ping my number in the chat, or is it okay to tell you on the